Okay, good morning. We're back to our Shalom Bayit course for men. We're now tackling a new book called Happily Married by Rav Zamir Cohen. So we spoke about how a husband, a father, cannot be gloomy in the house. He can be, he has to come home with good spirits, energy, happy. Why? Because he sets the tone in the house. He sets the tone in the house.
We should energize all of them.
Yeah. And he gets this from where? From the letter that Rambam wrote. Yeah, not a letter, sorry. Not the letter, but the laws of matrimony, which is from Rambam, right? And he mentions is chapter 16, halakha 19, correct? So he says over here that a man should not be irritable. What's irritable? A husband whose manner of speech is belligerent and edgy, who angers easily, who is ignited, who reacts irritably to everything, not quite to his liking, pressurizes his wife and children tremendously. Yeah, there's a lot of men like that. They come from work very tense, and everything, irritable, very irritable. Yeah, everything bothers them. Why? It's not like why he needs it. He needs peace and quiet. He needs everything clean. He needs hot food. He needs this. He needs that. So anything and everything bothers him. It says their natural joy of life withers, and they are in constant fear of him and his reactions. As soon as he enters the house, its vitality and activity dissipates. Yeah, everything is joyous. All of a sudden, father comes in, he's tyrant. Yeah, he's not tired. He's a tyrant. Everything bothers him, so they're afraid of him. In such a case, we apply the word. Yeah, when Av comes, right, we have to what? Reduce the happiness. Yeah, exactly. The family members of such grumbler are loath to converse with him. They don't want to talk to him. They don't want to open up to him. They don't want to tell him what went on in their lives. They're afraid of his reactions, and he is able to explode if he hears something not to his liking. Consequently, they lock up their emotions and do not share anything of their lives with him. And that's a big problem. Why? Because they're going to go outside and going to start looking for people who are going to listen to them. And a lot of times these people who listen to them are not good people, including the wives. Yeah, she wants to share her daily, activities with him. And she knows she's going to say this, they're going to say that. He's going to be bothered. So she doesn't say anything. So who does she say it to? She says it to Shoshana. She says it to this one, that one, right? And sometimes these people are not such good, listeners, and they don't give such good advice. And therefore it becomes a little bit of a problem. He says such a man should not be surprised if some mishap like milk spilled or a pot of meat they prepared for dinner, which rendered it unfit, is not brought to his attention for fear of making a big scene. Oh, so here it says over here that a lot of times when you are in a situation where you have such a man that's very, edgy, things might happen, they're not going to tell him the truth. For instance, milk that went into the food, they go, oh wow, how am I going to tell him now? If I tell him he cannot eat it, what's going to happen? He's going, what do you mean? No hot food, no this, not that. So they'll pass it on like if it's good, yeah. A concrete example of this rule was brought to my attention several years ago. When a man decided to divorce his wife, he told me that his married life was full of tension. He could overlook all the issues except for the fact that his wife violated Shabbat. So his marriage life was itself tense, probably because he created the tension. Yeah, so he said, I could take all that, but she violated Shabbat. And he gives the example of what? He said, okay, let me speak to her. So I asked him, when and how did you see your wife violating Shabbat? He says, I didn't actually see it with my own eyes, he replied, but I'm convinced, nevertheless. Why? I left my house for the synagogue very late on Friday night after sundown. When I was already there, I suddenly remembered that I had not plugged in the Shabbat plate, and it was Shabbat already, meaning when he left, the plata was not plugged in, and it was already Shabbat. He says, when I came home, I discovered to my shock that the what? Hot plate was connected. Yeah? Who could have connected it? For sure my wife. It must have been my wife. And the only time she could have done it was after Shabbat. Says, who knows how many other times she's done this before? Yeah, so now he's thinking, that's not the first time she probably did it. I told him that I wanted to meet with him and his wife. He retold the incident in my presence, and I turned to the wife and I asked, is this true? And she replied, yes, it is true. But this was actually the first time that I ever violated Shabbat. And I did so trembling from head to foot because I was terrified of what he, her husband, would do if he would be served cold food on Shabbat. he's going to lose his temper and he's going to get violent. Chas v'shalom. Yeah, this, yeah, this type of marriage is not a marriage. You know, when a wife has to tremble because of her husband, that's not a marriage. Yeah. So he says, I turned to the husband. I said, your wife did not violate Shabbat. You, through your volatile temper, caused her to do so. This is exactly what the Talmud says about a man who imposes undue fear in his home. The solution is not divorce, but an improvement in your character. You see? It says she violated the Shabbat because of you. You were very tense. You get very angry. You get very upset. And therefore she was afraid of you and she put on the plata. You understand? Chas v'shalom, sometimes women do the same when it comes to neither time. Yeah, they're afraid. Their husband goes crazy. Yeah, and she, whatever, miscounted, didn't count, or she might be still, not clean. And she's thinking, if I come home to him and say I'm not clean, what's going to do? This, that. He might go seek somewhere else. Chas v'shalom, right? So what do? They say, yes, I went to the mikveh. Yes, I'm clean. Why? Because they're afraid of the husband. Tension should not be in a house of a husband and wife. Yeah, it's not this is not a gangster, island. You know what I mean? This is a couple of love, mutual understanding. It's very hard to live in a situation like this. In fact, yesterday I sent out a thing, as many of you saw. I said, listen, try to, say to your wives, oh, how wonderful you are, this and that, because guess what? Mañana they have to prepare again Shabbat. Can you imagine what's going through their heart? I just finished all the holidays. I get a breather on Thursday, and what? Back into the Shabbat. So what do? You got to pamper them nicely, give them words, so they think, oh, and then tomorrow they can do nice things. Yeah.
Otherwise, she send you to Wasserman.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's Wasserman's for a chicken. So a guy sends me a message. He said, listen, you got to talk to my brother-in-law. What happened? So he says, the husband bought a house right next to his in-laws, like right next to his father. The wife said, I don't want to go live there. Why? Mutual backyard, mutual this, it's right next door. Imagine every moment they're going to be inside the house. What? His mother, his parents. Absolutely. What, not? You know how it is. She doesn't want to live there. So he says to me, I tried to talk to him. He says he wants to be the alpha male. You know what that means? Alpha male? In the animal kingdom, the alpha male is the one who controls all the females. Yeah? And even when there are other males there, they're very quiet because he's going to kill them. So he goes, he wants to show in his wedding, in his family, that he's the alpha male. I sent him a note. I said, this alpha male is soon going to be a divorced male. You understand? If he's gonna continue like this, why? Because it's mamish, not a joke. When a woman doesn't want to live in a certain place, it's a big problem. Yeah? And what is he doing? In this case, he's acting like this, I'm the man, and therefore you should listen to me. He says, this incident and similar ones are example of the dire consequences of a husband with a violent temper. It causes his family to withhold important information from him. And when his children mature, they will surely not share their problems and conflicts with him, but seek other receptive ears, sometimes negative ones, to whom to pour out their hearts. Many children go off to derech, you know why? They're not able to tell their father what they really wanted to. They want it, they gotta take it out. They have a certain issue. Who are they gonna tell? You know what they're gonna tell? They're gonna tell the friend outside. And then the friend outside has very good advice for them, yeah? What kind of advice could a friend outside say? You hear? Why? Because I'm afraid to tell. So I tell my friends, a lot of my friends, when your children tell you something, never react like, what? No. You absorb it, understand. Say, oh, interesting. Don't go crazy. Yeah? Why? Because they'll see your reaction. I can never say that to my father anymore, or my mother, But it's a tremendous problem. You gotta be in control of your feelings. Well, he's really bad, this kid? No, just... Oh, you have the same dad. I know you have the same dad. You hear? So he says, to clarify further, even if it's important for the husband to see it, to that his wife be relaxed and happy, the Rambam did not enumerate these two requisites in his list addressed to the wife, and not for obvious reasons. You hear? And for an obvious reason. He says, this advice that we're giving, guess who he's giving to? He's giving it to the husband. He's not giving it to the wife. He says the Rambam did not write mere suggestions to a married couple, no matter how important, but establish these as necessary obligations without which a family cannot be viable. You cannot have a normal family in the case of, where the husband is a tyrant and everything and everybody's tippy-toeing around him. Yeah, I know people are going to say, because that's the famous question. Yeah, but our mothers did it back then. Our mothers did it back then. Our mothers, they constantly keep saying, but in Uzbekistan everything was fine and the father was a tyrant. You understand? So what they don't understand is it wasn't fine. It was confinement in a jail cell, as far as the wives are concerned. They couldn't really, voice their opinions. But in this age and era that we're living, it's not so. Even in Uzbekistan, they're going to pick up their head because it's happening all over. Chutam. Yeah? So he says, this is because a man by nature, as the family's foreign minister, can deal with his wife's moods of anger or depression, since he is built for it. When he leaves the home, he encounters various situations, meets different people, engages with them, and manages to cope with the outside world. The woman, on the other hand, even if she works outside the home, draws most of her vitality and satisfaction from the husband. When he is sad, the light of her life is extinguished, and she resembles the moon with no illumination to her, to reflect from her. He says, a man is built in order for him to work outside. Outside, how many problems or attitudes do we encounter? Many, at work, this customer, that customer, this person, that person, So we're built to be able to take this, and still be focused. He says a woman is not able to do that. Yes, I know you're going to say, but there's women who work nowadays and they also get these attitudes and so on and so forth. You're right, but extremely stressful for them. You understand? And this is just a new thing which they're finding out that, many leaders that were women have quit their jobs because they cannot take the responsibility and the pressure that a man will usually take. So he says a man is equipped to deal with all this kind of, negativity and pressure and stress. And that's why we can't push it on the wife saying, no, you got to deal with all this garbage, from the man. Because she cannot. She's unable to. That's why Rambam says, you, the man, has to make sure that everything is nice and calm in the house. You can't let the woman be in charge of that because she cannot do that if you're a volatile individual. He says, as for the irritability, a husband is granted the tools to deal with the battle of sustaining and protecting his home, making him strong and steady, capable of withstanding challenging and frustrating situations in life without being phased, right? A man, he can go out, he's meant for that. He's meant to take all the garbage and then not be faced by that. Still calm and continue whatever he has to come and continue with no damage done to his soul. Thus, even if his wife must be careful not to provoke him and be depressed, her moods are not as significant compared to her husband's moods. A man must be extra careful not to rule and roost with an iron hand, since his wife is gentler and more sensitive by nature. When her mate, as the strong one, gets angry, when he should be using his virility to protect her rather than provoke, he is using his inborn tools for the opposite purpose, a situation drastically harmful to her. Because a man is supposed to be strong outside. Why? To protect the family and to not to interfere with his making money and making deals and so on. He goes, when he brings this attitude of outside into his house and uses against his wife and kids, he says he's completely going opposite nature of what was he built for. For example, a little bird, let's say, she rests on the eggs, right? Protecting the eggs. Now imagine if some other prey comes out, what does she do? She starts fighting. I remember when I tried to do Shluch Hakan, the bird just gave birth. I saw how the egg fell, and I said, wow, the most 1,000,000% opportunity is right there because we know that she's a female. Because sometimes people do it, but it's really a male. You can't tell the difference between them. Do you know after she laid the eggs, I'm shooing her, she doesn't go away. I want to take her, she's doing like that, tak, Now imagine she used the strength and everything on the egg, and she starts to tak the egg. What's going to happen? She's going to break the egg. Her nature of protection is not against the egg. It's for the people outside, the world outside. Same thing over here says, this man's strength, his, ability to withstand, his irritability, to accept. Says it's for the outside world, for him to protect the inside home. What does he do? In our days and ages, reversed. Outside is yes, everything good. Inside is a tyrant. And people say, what? He's like that? I couldn't believe that. He seems like a nice guy, Meanwhile, at home, he's a tyrant. Understand? So he says, you completely took and reversed the whole purpose of why you're a man. A woman living with a husband who's always irritable will wither away, and she will be living alongside a volatile mate. She will either lose her equilibrium, she will go crazy, and self-esteem, and feel incapable of coping with life, or conversely, be forced to stand up for her rights and will fight him. Many men complain, no, my wife, she's nasty. She's this, that. I said, yeah. I asked one guy recently. I said, but was she like that when you married her? He says, no. I said, so what happened? How did she become nasty? I don't understand. You went out with her before? Yeah. She was nice, but yeah. So what happened? You tell me, what did you do that she became like this? I said, no, she was always like that. But you told me she wasn't like that. Yeah, but I didn't know. No, so what happens is this what happens. He says she loses her equilibrium. She's forced to stand up for her rights, and she will fight him. That's why she will be against you in your face. Why? Now she can't walk away because she's married. And many times she has even had kids. So what does she do? She takes on his role to protect the family, right? And she's now acting like him, trying to fend him off. Because he's the predator, quote unquote, that's coming in to damage the family through his words and through everything. You hear him saying? He says, either way, both are losing out on a happy marriage, and both will constantly be belligerent on the offensive. You hear? He says it's going to be like two people fighting. It's completely not what it's supposed to be. The Rambam's directives to each side are interchangeable. A wife is supposed to love her husband like her own self and talk to him differentially. The difference is quantitative. The husband is required to employ a higher dosage of those requisites, while the wife is expected to deploy just a higher rate of what is demanded of her. Meaning, what did we say over here in the letter? It says a man has to do more, respect her more than he respects himself. Remember? She respects him as she respects herself. He has to be an exceedingly. He has to do it overly. Makara.
Can you explain it once again?
Yes. In the letter he writes that a man has to respect his wife more than he respects himself. Yeah, exactly. Why to the woman he says as she respects herself? Meaning for her, she just has to do as she is. Let's say he's here, he has to respect her right here. More than what he's capable of doing.
What about her?
As she's capable of doing. So he has a much higher degree.
He goes against the Rambam.
No, Tiniponel. Rambam says you have to respect your wife more than you respect her.
The wife should respect
Her husband as she's able to respect herself. Let's say, look, she respects herself 50%, she has to give him 50% respect. Listen. He, Megor, yeah.
זה לגבי הגברים.
Yes.
For the men.
Right.
But the woman, the Rambam, what he said.
She doesn't have to go exceedingly. Yes, that's what the Rambam says. Again, you want to argue with the Rambam? Let's call him up, let's argue with him. Just telling you what he's saying. But he's telling you why.
A lot.
Man to woman, Johnny Akesh. No. He should respect her. He should respect her more than he respects himself. You hear? So look, the bottom line demonstrates that those who incorporate these rules experience a happy married life. In representing the Rambam's guidelines in a seminary lecture, I noticed an elderly couple sitting in the audience and listening. The woman nodded in agreement from time to time. And when the lecture was over, she raised her hand and said, when my husband and I got married 60 years ago, no one taught us these lessons. Notwithstanding, my husband treated me according to those guidelines, while I treated him the way the Rambam says a woman should relate to her husband. To relate to her husband. I can testify that from the very outset of our marriage, we never had a serious fight, not even once. We always lived in peace and harmony. I really can't understand this young generation, says this older lady. I would note that many people ask. If these rules are geared only to young couples embarking on matrimony, what about those who have been married for several years and already bear the scars and resentment of pain and anger accumulated over the years, like us? Yeah? We didn't know this in the beginning. Now we're 15 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later, so many scars, so many pains. What's going to happen with us? And who have already lost all the emotions, all the motivation for change, can they rebuild their lives? Is there hope for them too? He says experience also shows that it is not only when both sides make the effort to living according to Rambam's guidance that they see amazing strides in matrimony. Even if one side begins to treat their spouse differently and truly provides those emotional needs according to those rules, their mate will automatically respond positively. This is proven phenomenon. Now, here he says both. But what happens is like this, and we've seen it. The woman sometimes will try to make the effort to make the marriage more harmonious, right? What she's going to do is she's going to start treating the man a little bit differently. What's going to happen is if he doesn't stop what we said before, as far as the negative comments and the constructive criticism and all that, she's unable to do that. She will be unable to. Now, if he's smart and if he understands the situation,
He blacked her.
No, you don't understand what I'm saying. He says either one can change by being nice. He says who? Man or woman? So he says either one. But I said to him, sometimes it happens where the woman starts doing nice things. She starts treating him nicely. But if he doesn't stop the negative comments and the constructive criticism, guess what? She's unable to withstand this. So she'll break down. Why? Because this is the buildup, and he's gonna continue with the buildup of the woman. So she won't be able to do it. So can she start first? Yes, but she won't be able to maintain. So ultimately, it's on him, right, to continue to keep her and hold her in high esteem. Therefore, she can continue doing whatever she has to do. He says, yes.
Okay. And you
Opa.
a woman, she is born already with a plan. Hashem planned it like that she wants to respect the husband very much.
She wants. This is her
She
initial wish.
It's in her genes.
How she's made.
That's how she's built.
Now, if you're not gonna supply to her the opportunity to respect you, she will be devastated. Meaning, from day one, she wants to respect her man. Not only to respect, but also to admire her man. Admiration. If you're not going to let it happen, I don't want to be there. Pitome, you see a different creature in front of you. A creature that you don't know. It's not the same one that I was dating. Yeah. Okay? Because you're not giving her the opportunity to admire. It's a crime.
And what is she in need of admiring? What exactly makes her admire of her husband? What qualities that these good qualities? No, what?
What is this? To be nice to her, polite, not to criticize, calling her at least two, 3 times a day. How are you? How are you doing? So, then you don't have to say anything. The husbands, right? The husband that they come and say, I do everything. I'm working like a chamor. And then I come home, I have to continue. So she married a Spanish guy.
That's not what you want.
My Carlos here, okay, soon is coming. That's, I don't need you all this. I don't need you to do all this. I can do it myself. Okay? You helping me when I don't need you. When I need you, you're not there. Men having difficult time with this. Very difficult time. Why? Because she wants emotion. Emotion she's looking for. Okay? She is not looking for a helper. Meaning, if you have to help her, it means that she is already crippled.
She doesn't want to be crippled.
She doesn't want to. And when you're throwing it into her face, you're saying, what else do you want? I'm making you a laundry which I don't have to. I wash the dishes. I do this. I do this. You're pouring hot water on her. She can do everything on her own, even on one leg.
So, Rabbi, let me ask you a question. Most of the rabbis are committed to community. It's shul, they go, let's say, Rabbi Israel, but Gabriel, you give so much to the community all your life. When did you give time to your wife to spend time with her?
Good question.
Because most of you in the community, morning, afternoon, Rabbi, what's his name? Shemunov, all the time in the shul, 5 o'clock, read, from 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock, he's always outside. How does he fulfill his wife?
Okay, so I'll tell you
Oh,
something.
before, I'm talking about now, okay.
My wife, if I'll do one time coffee for myself or tea,
She gets mad.
she'll be very upset with me. Meaning, she feels that she told me once, this is not your job. Let me help you. Let me do it for you. Why? Why? Because if I have on the scale the community or my wife, there is not even a question. She's coming first before anybody else. Okay? Why she let me do what I'm doing? Why?
When you were 30s, 40s, 50s, why did she allow you to do that? Yes,
Why?
You were home.
No competition to her.
Because I always, what do you need me to do? I'll do. I spoke to her hours and hours. Hours. And again, and again, and again.
Like a drill.
Yeah, they have to hear it every day. Let me ask you a question. If they're going to write a nice article on you in the newspaper, how many times you going to read it?
Maybe once. That's it.
Bah!
People
Come
also
on.
write articles about me. I don't read it every day.
Give me a
Maybe
break.
once. How many times are you gonna read it? It's written. Good job. That's it. Next.
You're going to show it to your friend, and your friend going to come and say, yeah. Because now imagine them. How many times you have to repeat the same thing?
Wow.
And it's not us. We say something one time, and you have to understand that's what I'm saying. I'm serious what I'm saying. Okay? That's why I'm here for. That's why I'm going to work for. Right? I'm here. Why are you asking me if I love you or not? For whom am I doing all this? But them, they don't understand this language. For them is material. They want to hear, talk to my neshama. Talk to my neshama. My neshama needs.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yesterday I sent out the did you do anything? Honestly, did you? You didn't. You know?
From that thing, I mean,
No. Did you tell her, sweetie? You know, you're the best. You did all this for us. Da, da, da.
one time.
No. Yesterday I texted out. Did you do it yesterday? You didn't.
I did.
No. You wrote her a letter, or you told her yesterday?
I told her.
You told her yesterday? Last night you told her?
Well, today,
What'd you tell her?
you're amazing. You're good.
No. Did you? Behemet, or you just telling me that?
I'm serious.
Oh, so Rabbi said some fundamental thing right now, which we just took in. She wants to honor you. Yeah, she wants to respect you. She wants to do that when you do that to her. Meaning, a lot of people tell me, I don't want to be a mop. I don't want to be. You don't have to be a mop. It's not a mop to encourage your wife to such a degree that she wants to do everything for you. She'll go like a dog and buy whatever she has to buy just to impress you. Why? Because you're saying such nice things to me. But we have this problem where we cannot say that. It's one of those, people, I can't tell her I love her. What do you mean? You're her husband. What do you mean you can't tell her you love her? You're her husband. You're her husband. I don't understand. I can't give her a praise. You know, I shouldn't blame them because sometimes it's hard for me for whatever reason. You know why? Because it's like, but that's the problem. Once we learn this art of being able to verbally to inject our wives with the love and the care and the praise and the honor and the respect that she needs, she does not need anything from you. Not to drive the kids, not to go shopping, not for sure not to wash dishes and plates and all that. None of that. I don't need. That's my job. But when you don't do that, guess what? It's all your job. Go wash the kids. Go this. Go put them to sleep. Go do that. Go get me this. Go get me that. Get me kashnich. Yo, I'm at work. Just walk 2 blocks. Get the kashnich yourself. Yeah, you know why? Because you such a lowly guy that I want you to go get that 99-cent kashnich, which you can go anyway. She can get anyway. But because we don't use our mouths, this phrase is in Tehillim. The tongue is life and death depend on the. Yeah, where's that in Tehillim?
No,
Or is it in Navi? Huh? Where's that? Yeah. It says life and death. Life and death
the Cohen, I think.
is in your mouth. What does that mean? What do you mean? You know what it means? Yes, and you could also revive a dead wife with your mouth. Yeah, she doesn't need anything. She doesn't need. She just needs good words. And the minute and the proof was that what I told you in the beginning. Yeah, my wife told me on Sunday. Listen, you go Wasserman's, buy this, buy that. I'm not cooking anything. I'm on strike. What did I do? Well, I've been a good husband for the past 6 months. I can honestly say that. And if you'd ask her, she said, yes. Why? I forgot with all the grandchildren. I forgot to say, wow, what a wonderful you are. How did
You say that next to your kids?
What?
How wonderful she is, or you do?
Absolutely. No, I usually say it on the kids at a table, but this time I messed up. So what do? I sent a nice text. Just Allah fixed everything. Beautiful emoji heart. And Chodumish Sunday, you think I was in Wasserman's? No, I was home. She cooked this, she cooked that, whatever. She told me I'm on strike. I'm on strike because she told me she was going to go on strike. I'm like, oh, I love this strike because she was in a happy mood. Kilu, why? See, if you don't infuse them with words, you lost. Now you're going to be a mop. Now you're going to go drive the kids. Now you're going to go put the kids to sleep. Now you're going to go wash the kids. Now you're going to go buy the shopping. Now you're going to go. Why should I have to do that? It's enough.
And you think that you are the hero.
Oh.
I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
She becomes even more upset.
Exactly. Why? Because now you're showing her I can do all that. And exactly. I can do that without you. You see, there's a big difference. The rabbi just said there's a big difference between a man and a woman. If you do something for me without telling me, I'm going to see it 500 times, and I'm gonna think, well, Dr. Boris, he's the man. Now I want to do something good for you. I'm gonna buy you $1,000 aliyah. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Why? To show my appreciation. Woman, as he said, we do everything. Shopping, this, that, 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 that. She's like, what do you mean? You want to know if I love you? Don't you see what I'm doing for you? Ibi? If this is not love, I don't know what that is. I need to hear it. Why? Because it says their neshama needs to hear it. The neshama doesn't see. It smells. It hears.
I had a couple. I had a couple, 45 times. So the man comes, you see he is frustrated, up in shoes already.
Boiled up.
Yeah. So I told him, let me tell you how you feel. I said, you feel used, abused.
Recycled.
Yeah, you're working like a dog, and then you have to come home and wash their children and put them to sleep and do this and do that. And his wife even don't serve you the food. She said, I cooked, take the food by yourself. You know, he got some color all of a sudden. He said, wow,
You're right.
you live in my house? He said, you're exactly saying the same thing. I told him, you see, I told you. I don't know, and it's going to get worse. Why? I don't know. Because you're cushy. Don't do this. I said, so what shall I do? She drives me crazy. And she is kind of,
She's a big woman.
she's a big one. And she opened up her mouth.
Eat your life.
Alive. No.
Alive,
Yeah. So now, I told them, watch how she's going to behave now. I told them, when was the last time that you told her that you love her?
9 months ago.
He couldn't remember even.
Many guys like that, by the way. I don't remember.
He couldn't remember. And so I told him, okay, that's the diagnosis. Yeah. Habibi, you're not a husband. You're a Spanish worker, that's what you are. You decided to take this job. Yeah. So now I'll be a husband. He said, but I am a husband. I said, no. You're a Spanish worker. A husband, he have to feel his duties. And the duty is to talk to your wife, neshama. That's the beauty.
Ear massage.
Call it any name. But you're talking to the neshama. When your wife, she's upset with you, she can cook, she can clean everything, she's not going to talk to you. Why not?
She's upset.
She said, all the material stuff I'll give you. My neshama, I'm not going to give you. I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to talk to you.
Rabbi, what's better if she cooks and doesn't talk to you, or she talks to you but she doesn't cook? For example, I'm just trying to understand what's better.
Was she's talking good?
Huh?
She's talking good when she talks?
Do good but she doesn't cook, or she cooks for you but she doesn't talk to you?
Something is off.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'm trying to understand the...
Meaning she's talking to you maybe to revive you. Maybe you should follow the parents, okay? But we know the plan of Hashem. She wants to cook for you. She wants to please the husband. I'm telling you again. This is the pleasure.
Rabbi, when you were starting out, you were young, you were working all the time, you didn't give enough time to her. You would just give...
I always give her time. Always. Even if I have to speak to her at 12 o'clock at night. We spoke. always. And me, I have to prepare my classes, and I have to prepare this. Did not prepare בכלל.
Hashem will continue tomorrow.